at the Bulldogs Classic. Your score, 4:59 to go. I'll flex all night. Oklahoma 16 and DePaul 9. Is that DJ Pauly D? I saw you fist pumping there. Tony Cardasco, Kevin E. Martin here from Lee's Family Forum in Henderson, Nevada, just in the burbs outside of, they call it the club, the Clurbs now or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
But we are in the burbs. We're actually in the burbs today in Henderson. Glad you could be with us, everyone out there. I saw that Jory Allen already has taken 7 shots for DePaul. She's 2 of 7. That's a lot of shots early on in this game.
Yeah, but they're going to need that from her. They need her to take on a lot of the offensive load.
There's some hefty screens on the interior. One-handed rebound underneath, pulled down by Zayavan. Here's Williams down the lane, and that just pops out. Beers fights for it. Fresh timer outside. That three-pointer for Lexi Keys won't go. Offensive glass, Beers, and she'll lay it in.
Just non-stop effort there on the offensive rebounding by Oklahoma. Reagan Beers finally capitalizing on that great hustle by the Sooners.
Down the low block. And we've got a whistle inside. Clarice O'Hare is into the game from a local product here from in Las Vegas. Centennial High School won 3 state championships, I should say, and 25-2 as a senior.
Yeah, Centennial High School, obviously, they run a tight ship up there. I don't even know. I mean, do you know how many state championships they have at this point?
Dozens, I think. Yeah, I mean, she won 3 of 4. Makes good on the first, and you hear some cheers. Her family and friends are here. Centennial High School, the sophomore. Originally signed with TCU. O'Hare with the miss. They get the board back. Natalia Nelson is into the game for DePaul. They've gone deep into the bench. They're only trailing by 8. 5 seconds on the shot clock. It's wearing down. Scramble in the lane. Picked up by the Sooners. Sooners are going to break it out. Nice cut underneath. Zayavan. Layup. Bucket. And 1. Oh, no. They're going to wave it off. Offensive foul. Okay, let's take a look at that.
Wow. Got her feet set right outside of the circle just in time. That was one of those boom, boom plays. Wow. Great defense there.
That's good defense. So an 8-point advantage for the Sooners. Klein had it. O'Hare, turnover back the other way. Lexi Keys Tot for three. No. Battle for the rebound. My goodness, they are relentless. Patrice Colaton into the game. And that short-range jumper the other way is good for McCline.
Smooth little jumper there by McCline.
Shakara McCline, 5'6", East St. Louis, Illinois. Deep in the corner, goes over to Lexi Keys. Keys around the perimeter, teeing it up, three-point range. And that bucket is good. And that is Skylar Van.
Skylar Van has the ability to knock it down from distance. The 2024 Big 12 Co-Player of the Year, having another big season for the Sooners.
Nice little scoop shot underneath for Jory Allen.
Great answer there by Allen.
This is so quick. Underneath Colaton, no. Rebound pulled down. Jory Allen. Who does this pace favor right now? I know probably Oklahoma, but DePaul seems to be hanging in there, countering.
Yeah, Oklahoma definitely loves to get out and run, but like you said, DePaul, again with another big bucket, the local.
O'Hare now with a triple from distance, and it's just a 4-point game, but don't blink. Back the other way, the finish by Skylar Van.
I mean, when you play the Sooners, you have to be ready for a track meet. This is giving me flashbacks from the UNLV game a couple nights ago. This is exactly the pace they like to play.
Yeah, but the UNLV game, they didn't distance themselves until the third quarter. That was a big run. Was it 28-4, something like that, right?
Yeah, I think they opened it up on a 16-0 run, and then it ended up being, what was that, a 4?
28-4.
28-4.
Yeah, turnover by Oklahoma. Ball went out of bounds. Last touch by Lexi Keys. So should DePaul maybe slow it down a little bit into the half-court offense?
In my opinion, yes. But they have to be able to work their half-court set and run the shot clock down and look for a really good bucket and then crash the boards. The only thing is if they miss and they do crash the boards, they're leaving it open for a transition bucket the other way.
Playing a matchup zone, McCline clanks it off the backboard and rebound, a battle for it. Mad scramble. Wow. Picked up by McCline. And DePaul now on the attack. High post, it goes over to Jory Allen. Outside, three-pointer on the way. Off the mark. Ellery Minch. They're playing an entire bench early on for DePaul. Good positioning. Scott, layup attempt, no. And she'll go to the free throw line. And so that is Liz Scott. Oh, no. Or is that, yeah, Liz Scott. That's who that was, right? Going to the free throw line.
Again, just another example of the Sooners. They get out and run. A long outlet pass. Lexi Keys found Scott in the paint who drew the foul.
Liz Scott missed last season with an injury, but preseason was on the Lisa Leslie list for the Best Center Award. Second free throw is true. 8-point lead for Oklahoma. Skylar Van, you know, of the Sooners, 15 points, 5 rebounds against UNLV. She was plus 29 in that game. McCline with a long-range miss. Here goes Tot. Tot wants to shoot. Three-pointer, NBA distance, rings out. Oh, my goodness, what a follow-up by Liz Scott. And she is fouled. She came out of the clouds.
I have no idea how she got to that ball. There was 2, maybe 3 DePaul defenders draped all over her. And, man, that's just straight heart and hustle right there.
Sure is. That was really physical, and that's what they do. That's what you will see out of Oklahoma. 6'2" senior out of Houston, Texas. Free throw is no good. Head coach of DePaul, Jill Pizzotti, the interim head coach. Head coach is Doug Bruno, who is a legend there, 774 career victories. Second one rings out as well. 35 seconds to go here in the first quarter of play. McCline, who's very active. It's the first time I think Newman really has had a touch of late. Keep your eye on her, number 9. Shot clock, though, down to 7. High post, Jory Allen left it off for McCline. Step back 3 by Johnson Matthews. And back the other way, down to 5, down to 4. They don't see the clock. And underneath, that layup attempt is no good, but a whistle and a foul as Liz Scott gets knocked down. So there's just 0.4 of a second to go. And that was really fast because there was about 5 seconds when Oklahoma got the rebound and started in the transition game.
That's how fast they play, and credit Liz Scott. I mean, we've talked about her hustle all game long. She sprinted to the paint there, knowing that the clock was running down. She's rewarded at the line, and she makes her first.
Reagan Beers gets a lot of attention, but keep your eye on Liz Scott this season, getting some valuable minutes in there. Looks so strong inside, and that'll do it for the first quarter of play. This is an Oklahoma Sooner team that returned 98% of last year's Big 12 championship team. They're off and running. At the end of one, it is Oklahoma 27 and the Blue Demons of DePaul 17. We headed to the second quarter of play from Lee's Family Forum, Henderson, Nevada. 27-17 your score in favor of the Oklahoma Sooners, and a balanced score sheet for the Sooners. Lexi Keys has 8, as does Peyton Verhulst, who's 2 for 2 from behind the arc. And for DePaul, Jory Allen has 6 points to lead their score sheet. Here's Verhulst in front of us. Had some troubles getting it in bounds, but they finally hand it off. Aubrey Jones comes into the game. Williams holds the ball up top. But they're doing a lot of work in the paint right now. They got to get out of there. There's Jones, dribble penetration, whistle, foul, charge. Or did I get that one wrong too? Yeah, I got that one right. I'm 1 for 2.
That's the third charge today that DePaul has drawn early on in this one. Excellent defense around the rim.
So Tot, Williams, Verhulst, Jones, and Scott, Liz Scott, in the game for Oklahoma. Johnson, Matthews, Newman, Lee, McCline, and Jory Allen, the current lineup for DePaul. DePaul trailing by 10, try to cut into this lead in this possession. High post again. They like that sort of half-court set as Allen touches it. And then spin move in the lane and leaving it short underneath was Taylor Johnson Matthews. Ball knocked away. Johnson Matthews with the recovery. Shakara McCline. There's Meg Newman. Allen, that's her spot. Will not roll in, though. Just bounced over the top of the rim. Allen currently now 3 for 10. She's got 6 points in the game, but she also has a total of 2 rebounds in 10 minutes. For Hulst. Williams, the cutter, they don't see her there. Up top, here's Tot. It's a good matchup. And the ball's knocked away. Good defense by Taylor Johnson-Matthews. Johnson-Matthews, and now Tot with a steal. Tot, crossover, and she'll back it out. Got to find someone. It's Verhulst for 3. She drains it.
With a hand in her face. Peyton Verhulst still perfect from the field. She now has 11, 4 of 4, 3 of 3 from behind the arc.
The Louisville transfer. It was Verhulst, right, that hit that three-pointer to give them the Big 12 title. First Big 12 title in 15 years. A 3 with 1.1 seconds to go. The shot's going to be long and out of bounds. Turnovers in the game so far. Oklahoma, due to its fast pace, with 7 and 3 for DePaul. And if you looked at the scoreboard, you would think that perhaps Oklahoma were trailing with 7 big turnovers.
Exactly, but right now they're winning that rebounding battle, out-rebounding DePaul by 9, and they have a lot of success doing that. They're first in the country in rebounding margin with 25.
Meg Newman, who I built up, with her first bucket of the afternoon. And if she gets started, she's a good player. She likes that baseline J. The miss from out deep. Kirsten Johnson with the miss. Back the other way, leaning into that 3. The shot was no good. Grace Karstensen. A loose ball foul. That's on Newman. And that'll be her first personal. Second team foul on DePaul. Even in the first game, we didn't have a ton of fouls called.
Yeah, both teams. I mean, and they both were playing tough. I love when the refs just let things play out and call it evenly on both ends.
Verhulst got pushed all the way past the three-point line when she started in the key. My goodness, it's getting very physical out there right now. Natalia Nelson was guarding Verhulst, making sure, talk about pushing her outside. But now she breaks through traffic. Here's Verhulst for 3. Offensive glass underneath Liz Scott. Verhulst from the other side. Drains it. That's why you push her into the stands.
Exactly. Second chance opportunities. Liz Scott with the big O board. Verhulst spotting up and knocking down the 3.
Oklahoma shooting 50%. And there was another bucket for Charlize O'Hara. And here's transition basketball. Lexi Keys for 2. Back to an 11-point lead for Oklahoma. Make it 13. Sorry with that bucket. 3-point field goals, 5 for 10 for Oklahoma. There's Scott on the lay-in attempt, Raina Scott. And she'll draw the foul and will go to the free throw line.
I'll tell you what, the Sooners make you pay if you fall asleep on defense. They are back the other way so fast. You better get back in transition.
Here comes Skylar Van, also reporting in for the Sooners. Well, Raina Scott's already in there. And Skylar Van and Beatrice Culleton. So they like to play with Culleton, who's 6'3". They like to play a lot of high-low with her because she's such a good interior passer. So we'll be on the lookout for that. Off the miss. DePaul trailing by 13. And a traveling call against the Blue Demons. The Blue Demons, 12-20 a season ago, 4-14 in the Big East. They lost to Seton Hall in the first round of the Big East tournament. It's a very young team with 8 new members and 6 freshmen on this squad. So playing these games here in the Ball Dogs Classic, there's a travel on Oklahoma. Playing these games will do nothing but build a lot of experience and confidence, you would think, for these young freshmen that are getting some minutes and some reps today.
Yeah, exactly. When I was talking to interim head coach Joe Pizzotti after their shoot-around yesterday, she said exactly that. She said, we have a lot of new faces, a lot of transfers, and these are the type of games to build that chemistry, to figure out how we play together, to figure out the lineups that play well together.
Outside once again, feeling it, but not good, Charlize O'Hara. Lob pass underneath. And that layup for 2 more for Skylar Van.
A little sister-to-sister action there. Zaya to Skylar in transition. The older sister reaps the benefits of her sister's assist.
Skylar Van, her coming out party was a year ago against UNLV when she put in 26 points. Tap out. 15-point lead. Scott Eurostep, and that's going to be another charge. That's number 4.
Number 4 on the day for DePaul. Really impressive positioning there to draw the offensive charge back the other way for DePaul. Let's see if they can turn this into some offense.
Some token pressure by the Sooners out of the backcourt. Zaya Van into the game. That's going to be a carrier that they get the foul first. They got a hold there. So the hand check in college basketball this year is a point of emphasis. So you don't want to see that call too often, but.
Yeah, and this right here, this slow pace, we're not used to that when we watch the Sooners.
On the drive, O'Hara, she's getting a lot of minutes today, the sophomore. Off the miss. Zaya Van. First person she looked for was Skylar. Outside, that's Zaya Van, 3-pointer. Will she get the bounce? Yes! In and out and back down for 3.
Wow,
40
that
to 22.
ball, hang on there. Huge shot by the freshman, Zaya Van. Take another look at it. That hit every single part of the rim, but it finally fell for Zaya Van and the Sooners.
4:41 to go, second quarter of play here. Oklahoma with a 40-22 lead over DePaul. Oklahoma is shooting the rock at a clip of 56%, 29% for DePaul. And DePaul, 9 of 31 from the field. That's a lot of shots to be hoisting so far, 3 of 12 from distance, 6 of 11 from behind the arc for Oklahoma in this contest. Peyton Verhulst with 14 to lead all scorers in this game. The jump shot's going to be short by Karstensen and out of bounds. So one and done. Is that the shot you want off of a timeout, maybe?
No, and exactly, one and done. No one crashed. I mean, the ball did take a pretty crazy bounce off the rim, but it's tough when you can't crash the boards because you got to get back in transition.
Kirsten Johnson into the contest now for the Sooners. Boy, is she long. And Scott will draw the foul. Liz and Raina are not sisters. Liz Scott, hailing from Houston, and Raina from New York City and Nazareth High School. Averaged 5 points, 2 boards, 2 assists a game last season. Liz Scott going to work is Johnson. Kirsten Johnson with the layup for 2.
Kirsten Johnson, nice little post move. The degree of difficulty of that move, but she made it look so simple.
It's Jory Allen in the lane, triple teamed, and she'll lay it in. Well, she showed me something there. Very physical, sets a lot of screens, and she's really strong and fundamentally sound.
Yeah, and what I like about Jory Allen is she moves without the ball, which creates shots, right? Jory Allen has 8 today for DePaul.
Raina Scott up top. Liz Scott. Raina on the fadeaway J from the baseline on the near side. Off that miss. Taylor Johnson Matthews has been very active in this game, but she has just 3 points so far, but she's done a lot as well away from the ball, and she's definitely done the intangible things for DePaul.
Exactly, and that's the type of player she is. She will go all out night in and night out. A lot of the stuff will not make the stat sheet, but like you said, she does the intangibles for the Sooners, or DePaul, excuse me.
Allen gets rejected by Liz Scott. They go around the horn, and that 3-point jumper is no good. Whistle and a foul as Skylar Van off the miss. And we'll get a rebounding foul against the Sooners. 4 team fouls apiece, under 3 to go.
In DePaul in desperate need of a field goal. 1 of their last 8, shooting just 29% from the field in this first half.
Outscored here in the second quarter, 15-7. If you joined us late, Oklahoma is a team that's 5-0, and every opponent has lost by 30 or more points. Dribble drive. Johnson Matthews can't get it to stick. Nevaeh Tot into the forecourt. Tot to Scott. And underneath, that finish underneath by Skylar Van. It was Tot to Scott. Yeah.
It was, and just a beautiful 2-game action there for the Sooners.
Outside, the long-range miss by Karstensen. And we've got a whistle.
Excellent take there by Jory Allen. We talk about what she does for this team. Obviously, leads the team in scoring about 19 a game, but she also does so much more. We talk about the new faces, the underclassmen, the transfers. She's one of the mainstays, so she's the leader out there. She's the veteran. So she really does it all for DePaul, and Joe Pizzotti's expecting her to do that night in and night out.
So DePaul, a team that shoots 17 free throws per game. I don't want to jinx this one. She's made 35 straight, Jory Allen, to start this season.
I was about, if that would have missed, I would have just had Sir leave.
I would have gotten checked over the boards, the hockey boards here. 17-point lead for, the running one-hander by Peyton Verhulst.
What a gorgeous inside-out dribble.
That's just showing off.
Wow.
You think she would flex like I did earlier off the air? I don't know that was, here's, again, that's Johnson Matthews with the miss. Tot, Verhulst passes it up. Goes to Lexi Keys deep in the corner. A triple miss. Back the other way. Shakara McCline had it. There's a screen. You might want to use that if you can. Shot clock under 10. McCline running out of space. Goes to throw it across the key. That shot is rejected. Up again. Whistle, and we've got a foul underneath the basket. So we'll have free throws coming up.
Just great hustle by Klatt to stay with that and draw the foul.
So she'll go to the free throw line. Both teams have used a ton of players. Emery Klatt.
Yeah.
12 players
Both
for DePaul.
Pizzotti and Baranchek or Ronchek, excuse me, going deep into their bench. And that's something, obviously, we talked about. That's something that Jenny likes to do for Oklahoma, especially because of the pace they play, right? They play so fast that she tends to substitute and go really deep in her bench.
DePaul, I watched that game against University of Texas, which is just one of the tallest teams, I think, in the land. 21 offensive rebounds for number 4 Texas against DePaul.
It's hard to beat a team when they're getting so many second chance points.
Second, third, fourth.
Yes.
Long lob pass down. They can't finish there. Johnson was way too deep under the basket. Off the turnover, we come back the other way. Summer Lee. Taya Nelson, shot swatted out of bounds. It's blocked by Kirsten Johnson. Take that.
What a block with some authority. Just showing off the athleticism there. Here's a little replay. Great on-ball defense. Rising up and gets the block.
A lot of pushing and shoving in the lane. Verhulst has to go out up top to guard Shakara McCline. 9 seconds on the shot clock here. Clock is winding down. Out deep. That's a long-range 3 attempt by McCline. Offensive rebound for DePaul. And they'll try it once again from distance. O'Hara.
Speaking of second chance points, that was all as a result of DePaul crashing the boards, getting the O board, and finding the wide open shooter behind the arc.
Omai O'Hara. Charlize O'Hara, Centennial High School here in Vegas. Final seconds here, second quarter. 8 on the shot clock. Here's a drive. Verhulst feeling it, lean in, jumper no. 7 seconds, whistle. And we're going to get a foul in the key. I think that might go against Shakara McCline. Go against Klatt. And so Johnson will go to the free throw line with 6.4 to go. 15-point Oklahoma Sooner lead over DePaul.
And I love the play from Johnson over the past couple minutes on both sides of the ball, obviously with that huge block defensively, and then here on the offensive end, battling in the paint, earning a trip to the free throw line as she knocks down her first.
Jenny Baranchek, head coach, season number 4, National Coach of the Year finalist, the first 3 seasons at Oklahoma. She attended West Des Moines High School, same high school as Caitlin Clark. Here's DePaul trying to do something with 2, with 1, and that'll do it. Todd can't get that shot off in time, even if it went. So that brings us to the end of the first half of play from Lee's Family Forum in Henderson, Nevada. And it's been all Oklahoma up by 17. And they still have another gear, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like we just saw the tip of the iceberg for the Sooners in that first half. You know, credit to DePaul, though. They're not shooting great, just 28% from the field, but they're they're hanging around there in that first half. Definitely will have to go in at halftime, make some in-game adjustments. But like you said, that first half belonged to the Sooners. On the other side of the ball, shooting 51%. A lot of shots knocking down for Oklahoma early on.
And this is a Sooner team that I don't believe has trailed this season. I don't think they've trailed in any game. And so, again, 5 straight opponents beaten by 30 or more points. But this will be a really tough test for them this upcoming season as they switch conferences into the Southeastern Conference. And you can't tell me this is the 4th best team in the SEC, because I would not be buying that.
Oh, exactly. I mean, obviously the SEC, the 2 front runners, LSU, South Carolina. South Carolina just went down against UCLA. I think, what was it, a 43-game winning streak?
Jeez.
The last time they lost was to Iowa in the national championship game two seasons ago. So they had, I think it was 43 straight wins, and they just fell last night. But again, going back to your point, that SEC conference, it's going to be a fun one. I mean, you're going to have to bring it night in and night out to get a win during conference play.
You got South Carolina, you have Texas, who we spoke of, 21 offensive rebounds. I don't care who you're playing. That's just good hard work and athleticism. LSU, you have the Sooners, you have Ole Miss. 4 Southeastern Conference teams began this season in the top 10. So this is going to be quite a season for OU, but they definitely have the players to compete each and every night.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the stat earlier. They're bringing back all 5 starters, 11 letter winners. They lead the nation in returning production with 98% of last year's scoring intact. And on top of that, they add All-American 6'4" transfer from Oregon State, Reagan Beers. And I think right now, speaking with Josh, the SID over at Oklahoma, he said that this team is still trying to figure out how to play with a dominant big. This is the first time, especially in Jenny's era, in her 4th season, as you mentioned, that they've had to figure that out. So it's crazy that they're figuring out and still beating by teams by 30.
And in that first half of play, Reagan Beers, just 3 minutes and 30 seconds of time on the court. Either they're preserving her energy for the second half and maybe for perhaps a championship game here on Wednesday, but she hasn't gotten a lot of minutes, a lot of burn, if you will. She has a total of 4 points in limited action. We are at the break here in Las Vegas, and at halftime, it's the Oklahoma Sooners ranked 8th in the nation, leading DePaul and the Blue Demons 48-31. We'll be back with the start of the second half momentarily. The DePaul Blue Demons, a team that has lost to 3 teams with their 2-3 start that won their conference tournaments. And this is the 4th team that won its conference tournament a season ago, Oklahoma. And it's a huge hole for the Blue Demons to dig out of as we get set to start the second half. And Oklahoma is leading DePaul by a score of 48-31, 17-point advantage. And when you look, Kevin E. Martin, at the leading scorer, Peyton Verhulst, just filling it up. 6 of 8 field goals from the floor, 4 of 5 3-point distance. And she leads all scorers. And for DePaul, a little bit undersized in this game and not as deep of a bench, even though they've played a lot of players, but the quality depth, perhaps. Jory Allen with 11-10 for Clarice O'Hare, who is, this is her homecoming game today.
And she definitely has some friends and family in the crowd, which is awesome to see. Every time she does a little something good out there, we hear the cheers.
Ball was knocked away from Jory Allen. No whistle, even though DePaul wanted it. Here's Verhulst for 3. That one rattles out. Ball's kept alive underneath and finally pulled down by DePaul. Meg Newman needs to get into the scoring column, I believe, for the Blue Demons in the second half. And there she is.
On cue! It's
I'm gonna
like
flex.
They can hear you, Tony. It's
I'm going to flex. That's it.
Oh,
That's
you
all
want
you
me
can
to
do.
get involved?
The
Flex on him,
reverse
Tony.
lay-in, Skylar Van. I'm sorry, it's just a feel. I don't know what it is. For real, I've been doing this for ages, obviously.
Just a huge answer to that bucket. Skylar Van on the other end.
So a fresh 24-second clock off the inbounds. Angelina Smith now running the point for DePaul out of the Big East Conference. They were in 18 consecutive tournaments before missing the last 2. Turnaround Newman. That's what we're talking about. They cut the lead to 15.
Back-to-back field goals by Newman.
Beers underneath, laying easy money. Reagan Beers, who played just 3.5 minutes in that first half.
Yeah, she'll have some fresh legs here in the second half, running the court there in transition for the easy lay-in.
Entry pass down the low block. Jory Allen goes to work. She fights for the rebound, taken away by Peyton Verhulst, who has been everywhere this afternoon. Behind the back with the dribble. Nevaeh Tott, Beers, entry pass down the lane. Williams.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Charge.
On the charge. And
look at that replay. I mean, DePaul, their ability to set their feet defensively, get outside of the circle. Like we just said, their 5th charge on the game.
Jenny Baranchek off the bench and literally screaming.
She does not agree with that call.
No. She's pretty mild-mannered in just watching her demeanor. She can be fiery when needed, as can any coach in America, but she really did not agree with that call and made it vocal.
Yeah, she's a coach that you want to play for. Like you said, pretty even keel, but if something sets her off, she gets fiery. And when you see that as a player, your coach standing up for you in those situations, you just want to play that much harder for her.
DePaul with the weave, Summer Lee outside. There's Newman, who's got 4 points so far in the third quarter, and a whistle underneath, and we're going to get a foul, and that will go against Reagan Beers, the 2-time Pac-12 first-teamer. Oregon State. So Jenny Baranchek had a relationship with Reagan Beers before she went to school at Oregon State. I think it was 8 players left at Oregon State program with the implosion of the Pac-12 down to the Pac-2. Newman turnaround, off glass for 2. So Meg Newman coming to life.
Exactly, Tony. Like you said, she is now 3 of 5 from the field. All 6 of her points coming here in the second half.
So we have a foul underneath the basket, and Liz Scott is around the ball, and Scott will go to the free throw line. the senior from Houston, Texas. So back to Baranczyk, just a great coach, obviously, and a great player as well. First team All Big Ten selection as a player. Free throw's good.
Yeah, she had a great career, as you mentioned, as a player and now as a coach. Before coming to Oklahoma, really successful at Drake. And I was talking to Josh, the SID over at Oklahoma during their shoot-around, and he said that sometimes Ginny will get in there and play sometimes because, she still has that height. So every once in a while when they need that height down low, that she'll get in there and still lace them up.
There's a turnover underneath the basket by DePaul's Jory Allen. Allen averaging 7 boards per game this season. She has 4 thus far. And a whistle in the paint once again. And now a lot of fouls being called, which I did not like. I told them not to call any fouls. I still have 2 more games to go, and that's a lot more talking when there's someone at the free throw line.
Right, exactly. But going back to you're talking about Jory Allen and her play. I mean, obviously 11 points tonight, but she does it all. You mentioned the 4 rebounds, 5 assists. A lot of the stuff that she does on the court doesn't necessarily make the stat line, right? Like we said, she's the leader out there. She does the hustle play. She really does it all for DePaul, and that's exactly what they're expecting her to do as a veteran.
Scott Make on the first one. These 2 teams have not played since 2018. And the series overall, 4-1 in favor of DePaul. So Liz Scott giving some valuable minutes for the Sooners, who will open up on January 2nd against Texas, a team they beat twice last year. Summer Lee. And off the steal. Here come the Sooners. Verhulst airmails that to Green Valley Parkway.
She immediately knew. I mean, great idea. There was a little miscue. She thought that the runner was going to cut to the basket. Instead, she stayed around the perimeter for a pull-up, and just like you said, the ball went soaring out of bounds.
When you played at Monmouth in New Jersey, did you wear leggings? Weren't around then yet?
That's a new style, I think.
Okay.
You've seen the
Would
one
you have
legging,
worn them?
right?
Yeah, well, yes, of course. We just saw out there Summer Lee of DePaul, blocking foul, 2 shots upcoming on the dribble penetration by Peyton Verhulst. Well, what are the advantages? Keeps your legs warm, maybe? Yeah.
That's a good
In
question.
here?
Yeah, exactly. Since the court's covered, or the ice is underneath the court.
And we were starting to feel it. I told you, okay, so when you return on Wednesday, 2 pairs of socks.
You know what's funny? When you first said that, I looked at you like you were crazy. But now that we're
like
in
you
the
have
third
for most of our
quarter
broadcasts.
of the second game, my feet are actually tingling a little bit.
Okay. Well, make sure you two pairs of socks. I should have warned you because we're literally sitting on ice. Lead is up to 19. Can Oklahoma make this DePaul team their 6th consecutive victim, scoring 30 or more? Jory Allen says no. Nice little turnaround.
Just a nice slow move. She turned to the bucket, squared up, saw that the defender was playing off her a little bit. She said, okay, you're going to give me some space. I'll knock this one down.
And 13 points for her. Liz Scott, the other end.
Nice answer there by Liz Scott. A little fadeaway. She now has 12.
6 minutes to go in quarter number 3. Jory Allen off the double team. Throws up a wild hook shot. She's taken 16 shots so far. Teeing it up from distance. Lexi Keys, no. Oh, nice save in pounds. But here comes DePaul. That's sloppy. Underhand layup attempt by O'Harry. No. Underneath, Angelina Smith had it. Oklahoma can't believe it. I think they're going to overturn this call or no? It'll stay with DePaul. Liz Scott took a long time to get down the court. Basket hanging, maybe. That's the type of game that I would play.
The little half court?
Yeah, no, basket hang. They still would catch me, of course, even if I had, a few feet on them. Up top, here she is, O'Hara again. Nope. And the rebound pulled down. Lexi Keys had it, and then underneath, easy layup for two. And that is Zaya Van. So Zaya Van, talented, long, can jump, brings a ton of energy. I watched her in action at the UNLV game, which you broadcast, and as soon as she came into the game, she sort of changed things.
Yeah, she does not play like a true freshman. She is so calm and poised out there. As we mentioned, dropped 14 against UNLV. And she can score, she's versatile. She can score a variety of different ways. She can, knock down the three, drive to the paint. She has a lot on her offensive game.
That was Angelina Smith on the drive. She was hacked. She'll go to the free throw line when we return, the 5'8" freshman. 4:48 to go in the third quarter. Oklahoma in front of DePaul, 60-39. The winner of this game will take on the Duke Blue Devils, and the loser to play Kansas State on Wednesday. And that will be here right on FloHoops. And Duke today, earlier, with a 73-62 win over Kansas State. Duke came in ranked 13th, Kansas State 9th. First loss of the season for K-State. And the winner of this game right now, in control, apparently, are the Oklahoma Sooners, leading now by 19. Verhulst. Over to Keys, Lexi Keys. Good dribble penetration. I thought that there was a foul underneath. Tough drive by Zaya Van. Third personal on Jory Allen.
And just excellent hustle there by Johnson to crash the offensive boards. The Sooners out-rebounding DePaul 37-25.
So Kirsten Johnson will get the second of two. The bench on Friday night here in Las Vegas outscored UNLV 44-7. In this third quarter, Oklahoma shooting 67%.
They're doing it both on both sides of the ball. Like you said, that astounding 67% on the game. DePaul shooting just 30%. A lot of that has to do with the ball pressure that Oklahoma is applying.
Off that miss, that was Natalia Wilson. And in the lane, we're going to get a whistle and a foul on the Lexi Keys drive.
It's a really strong drive there by Lexi Keys. I don't know if Jory Nelson agreed with it, though, as she takes the run to the bench.
5th team foul. And so Keys will go to the free throw line.
And that's now foul number 4 on Jory Allen, a player that, of course, DePaul would love to stay out on the court as she now leads the team with 13 points.
0 for 2 is Lexi Keys, the Oklahoma State transfer. Back the other way. It's Nelson maneuvering in the paint. McCline back to Nelson. And then up top, Taylor Johnson-Matthews, who's been quiet of late. Off the miss. Beers with the rebound. They want to run. Here come the Sooners back the other way. Nice catch under the basket. Beatrice Culleton. The ball going back to DePaul.
An ill-advised foul by Culleton. It was tough. It was a bang-bang play. I don't know if Ginny agreed with it. But nonetheless, another foul and DePaul back the other way.
DePaul's missed its last 6 shots. Let's see if they could break out of this. Johnson-Matthews on the dish. Dribble penetration. McCline too hard, too strong inside. Another rebound pulled down by Reagan Beers. Zaya Van whistle foul. Whoa, hard foul on Beers. And we're going to get free throws. Beers got up a little slowly, but she's okay.
And like you said, as fast as that first half went, this second half, the refs are definitely calling a lot more, especially the hand check, as you mentioned. They're putting an emphasis on that this season. Calling it a lot tighter on both ends in this second half.
We see the return of Haley Walker for DePaul. Beers off the miss. I mean, can't see very many areas that Oklahoma is lacking in.
You make a really good point. I mean, from top to bottom, they check all the boxes. I mean, they get it done defensively, and then they're a team, obviously, that can score at a really high efficiency. And, you know, averaging 92 a game, 8th in the country, field goal percentage at the top of the country. Defensively, holding opponents to 28% field goal. That's 2nd in the country. So like you said, they're solid across the board on both ends of the court. And, you know, they have some depth on the bench. Their starting 5 is strong, and they have the ability to bring a lot of, you know, 6th, 7th, 8th players off the bench. They can fill when the starters are out.
Taylor Johnson-Matthews earned her way to the free throw line. Makes good on the first of 2. From Cleveland, Ohio, she went to Pearl River Community College, had 17 rebounds in a game. And I could see that in her game.
Yeah, she's a hustler, that's for sure. She's not afraid to go down there and, like you said, amongst the trees, as they say.
Skylar Van threw that out of bounds. So they had the post up for Reagan Bears down in the low block, but that ball just sailed out of bounds.
DePaul in desperate need of some offense. 0 of 7 of their last 7, field goals, just 2 of their last 10. On cue, though. They said, stop talking, we got this.
And that layup for Natalia Nelson. So that was a good way to break that streak. Look at here, it's down to a very scrappy as DePaul, down to a 16-point lead when it looked as though they were going to get blown out. And there's a long-range 3, Johnson-Matthews, down to a 13-point advantage. Keys in the lane. Van got pushed from behind, no whistle, no foul. And then Sahara Williams finally getting a bucket. That was a big bucket for Oklahoma.
Huge answer as DePaul is putting together some buckets here, outscoring Oklahoma 16-15 here in the third.
Yeah, impressive run here for DePaul and taking advantage of some miscues by the Sooners.
And really, they're, like you said, taking advantage of those miscues, and they're kind of giving Oklahoma a taste of their own medicine with the turnovers, turning that into transition buckets. That's exactly what DePaul did there on consecutive possessions.
Shakara McCline at the line. You got to make free throws. I say, kids, eat your vegetables, make your free throws.
Follow your shot.
Eat your tots. Todd is on the court again. I'm hungry. Can you tell? That's my stomach growling, folks.
You still have
It's not an earthquake here in Vegas. Williams underneath. Oh, pump fake. Play it up and in. Sahara Williams, back-to-back baskets for OU.
The Sooners showing that they can run once again in transition.
Just when you start to get some rhythm and start to feel good, you miss the 2 free throws. That really hurt. And then OU makes you pay. Verhulst. Van in the lane, round and out, underneath Bears, doesn't even have to leave her feet, lays it up and in, and one.
What a rebound by Beers, and putback, draws the foul like you said. Just muscling that one in. And we're seeing Oklahoma's ability to put points on the board and do it fast. They can string together a run in the blink of an eye at the pace that they play.
That's 7 unanswered now. Leaders down to 13.
7 with that make, because you knew she was going to make it. So there
Absolutely,
you go.
Yeah. I mean, that would be so nice if you don't have to leave your feet to get a rebound.
6'4", she's listed. I mean, just really skilled down low. That's why, of course, she's an All-American.
Nelson off the miss the other way. Williams in the lane, throws it out of bounds. She also knocked over a player.
That could have been a charge, honestly.
I thought so.
That would have been 6.
That was more of a charge than the last
here.
one. That was much more of a charge. Boy, I'll tell you what, Jenny Baranchek is getting her money's worth here in Vegas. She said her team needs to limit its turnovers. And this is a team that really, because they go at such a fast pace, they need to more or less make sure that their passes are more accurate.
Exactly, and I think Jenny will be okay, right? If you want to play fast, of course there's going to be some turnovers. There's one from DePaul.
Layup to Raina Scott.
But I think it's the unforced turnovers, right? That she wants to limit. And that will only continue to get better as the team continues to play on.
It's almost Meg Newman time here. O'Hara.
Did she hear you?
I don't know. We'll see. They look in the
They
back
were
door
looking
for
for
her. Back the other way. Wanting to run. Raina Scott from distance. Tot. Whistle and a foul on the floor. And so Oklahoma goes back to the free throw line. And this is the part of the game where it starts to get away and where you can see the explosiveness of the Sooners. They've beaten every opponent 5-0 by 30 or more points. And this is the area where teams get fatigued and worn down.
Exactly. I mean, felt like seconds ago we were talking about the nice little run that DePaul was on. But here you go, over the last minute 48, Oklahoma on a 9-0 run.
Beers' free throw is good.
Make that 10-0.
She just doesn't miss from there.
She's automatic.
72-47. Final possession of the third quarter coming up here for the DePaul Blue Demons. Under 12. I'm like, teams have got to go sooner. I have always had that issue. And now it's down to 4, down to 3. Newman, dribble penetration, has to go up. Shot rejected at the buzzer by Reagan Beers. So that brings us to the end of quarter number 3. And your score, it's the Oklahoma Sooners starting to lay it on DePaul, leading 72-47 and 3. Back with the fourth quarter start right after this. Dogs Classic here in Henderson, Nevada. Lee's family formed the site. Terrific venue here. Capacity of 5,500. Tony Cardasco and Kevin E. Martin. That little fadeaway will not drop for Verhulst of the Sooners. Oklahoma 0 for 3. This is a news flash. No three-pointers in the third quarter. What's going on here? They're shooting 53%, 29% for DePaul, who got the lead down to 13 in the third quarter. And then we saw an explosion by Oklahoma, now playing out of a zone. Underneath, Jory Allen has to give it up outside. Timer's down to 3. Will they get a shot? Air ball. You can see that coming. Summer Lee was not set on that three-point attempt, and it's a shot clock violation.
Just great team defense by Oklahoma.
Look at this passing. My goodness, layup 2. How do you stop that? Raina Scott with the finish.
That is just beautiful transition offense right there. I don't think the ball hit the ground. That is music to a head coach's ear when you can pass, get a bucket. Beautiful.
Newman, the miss on the turnaround. 74-47. That three-pointer hits iron for Skylar Van. DePaul, this is just the Oklahoma offense that comes in waves. All of a sudden, they cut it to 13. Oh, give and go, spin move, Allen, travel. I didn't think so either. I'm with you, Jory. The jury is still out for Jory.
Here's that transition bucket.
Yeah, there was one bounce in there.
There was.
They snuck that in. They were so fast, though, really.
Right? But it wasn't technically, it wasn't a dribble. You know, it was a bounce pass, Skylar Van over to Scott. So
here's Todd, dribble penetration, got through on the inside. Oh. Raina Scott with 13 on the shot clock. Around it goes. Todd, inside. Good pass. Layup attempt, no good. Beers back to the free throw line.
Just great ball movement around the perimeter as Reagan Beers posted and reposted, got her position. Not much you can do when Reagan Beers gets position on you down low.
18 assists on 18 buckets. Was that the Beers streak? Was it Beers that had the streak? Who was it? Oh, no, it's Jury on the other side. Sorry, my bad. I still have her to jinx.
Well, she got the second, so.
Beers makes the basket. We're approaching that 30-point margin. High-low, Newman turnaround, jumper, no. Still nothing falling for DePaul. They're getting some good looks, some decent looks. Reagan Beers layup for 2 on the post up. So Beers has come to life. And there's your 30-point margin, 77-47 quickly. And 1, Newman with the bucket plus the bonus.
Megan Newman, great body control here. Just a drive to the bucket, up over Skylar Van, gets it to fall. That was a degree of difficulty high and draws the foul. 10 points now from Megan Newman.
So Newman, as we mentioned, Arizona State to Alabama to DePaul, and she was recruited to DePaul since her high school days by Doug Bruno, and now Jill Pizzotti, the interim coach. Transition bucket the other way. You just can't stop this because it just comes again like so fast. Transition basket for Lexi Keys, and it's a 79-50 lead for OU. So all that's left, 30-point margin, yes. 100 points, is that something you look forward to?
That's a good question. That she just completely bought in and said, whatever you need from me, I'm going to do it. And they're seeing that here early on in this season.
Leading scorers so far, Reagan Beers with 15, 5 for 5 from the field for her so far. Liz Scott, 12 points. And that's for Oklahoma and for DePaul University out of the Chicago area. Sherry Allen with 13, 11 for Meg Newman, who came on in the third quarter, and 10 for Charlize O'Hare, coming back to Las Vegas, back home. Oh, almost a travel call there, and the drive, and we're going to get a foul. Jory Allen could do it so many different ways. I mean, when you look at Allen, she is 6 feet tall, and she's going against women that are 6'3" and 6'4". And she just has some really good footwork, I think, that helps her. And then she's a terrific finisher.
Exactly. Really great. She plays bigger than her 6-foot frame, right? And you mentioned her footwork. She's strong. She has great hands. And she's cerebral. She takes her time. I mean, she's a vet, so she takes her time. When she gets the ball, she reads the defense and finds the best shot.
Will she ever miss a free throw this season? We'll have to figure out how many we're up to now, but I think it was 35 consecutive free throws that she had made. And today...
Yeah, you're right. She was 35 of 39 coming into today, I think. So how many has she had today? Look at us
she's
doing math.
3 for 3. She's 3 for 3 from the free throw line. They look for the back door, and the ball is taken away out of the backcourt. Angelina Smith. There's Newman on the high post. Smith steps up, Passed up the three. Allen, nice interior pass. Newman can't finish underneath. It was a good look. Good interior passing. I really enjoy, watching that. Oh, spin move by Scott, around and down. Liz Scott.
Liz Scott having herself a game. 14 points, 1 rebound shy of a double-double.
She still has 6+ minutes to go. Newman turnaround. That's usually money, and it is. Did you see? Liz Scott said, I was there in position. She claps her hands. Darn it, should have had a piece of that. She's beaten me on this play before. I tell you, Nelson stops outside. Johnson Matthews quiet here in the second half. Long range miss. Keys looks in the lane and threw that pass a little bit behind, like a quarterback throwing behind his intended receiver and out of bounds, but Scott could not control.
Turnover 19 for Oklahoma. And again, not that any coach is happy with a turnover, but I think those type of turnovers where you have a good look in transition and there's just a little miscue, that Ginny's going to be more accepting of those than the unforced turnovers, because they want to push, they want to run, and turnovers are going to be inevitable if you play that style of game.
12 on the shot clock. Newman, top post. Johnson Matthews sealed off baseline. Jumper no good by Meg Newman. You know what just hit me? The SEC patch on the uniforms for Oklahoma. Now it's real.
Yes,
and
and
that backdoor cut.
You know what's crazy is I didn't even notice that, and wow, does that look weird?
That kind of hit me, right? And we have Keys is shaken up in the backcourt. Lexi Keys is hobbling off of the court. So hopefully she's okay. And yeah, she's limping towards the bench. We'll see substitutes coming in for the Sooners with under 5 minutes remaining. We'll take a break. Oklahoma big over DePaul. On 2:54. John Alba for BD Global is our executive producer. Today's game being produced by the one and only Josh Bennett, Tony Cardasco, and Kevin E. Martin, courtside here at Lee's Family Forum, where we're sitting on the ice watching basketball. So Lexi Keys was shaken up, and she's still hobbling as she's trying to walk it off there behind the Sooner bench.
Yeah, no one, we were talking.
Todd with the steal.
And it's back the other way. Again, this happens so fast. You really cannot collect your thoughts when you're covering a Oklahoma Sooners game.
O'Hare, no. Underneath. Nice try. Good board work by Jory Allen. Stick back won't fall. Finally taken down. Here come the Sooners. Williams up top. Todd. Swing it around the perimeter. And the ball's out of bounds. Looking here at Peyton Verhulst. What a line. 18 points. She could conceivably have a triple-double. She's got 18 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds in this game. Turnaround, Newman comes up short, gets her own rebound. Like it when players follow up their shots. So simple to do, right? Nice catch by Beers, but now we're going to have the arrow pointing towards the Sooners there. Well, she made the nice catch and then didn't see that weak side help coming over by Natia Nelson, who's played a lot of minutes off the bench.
Oklahoma currently on a scoring drought. 2 minutes and 20 seconds since their last field goal.
Beers, Jones. She was off balance on that drive. Rebound to Charlize O'Harry from Centennial High School here in Las Vegas. Taya Nelson deep in the corner. That is so close for O'Harry.
That was smooth.
Beers. Why is Beers still in there? Looking for 30? Blowout? Yeah. Underneath. She switched hands. And Beers with the finish with the left hand lay-in.
17 for Beers. She was doubled and still made it look easy. Perfect 6 for 6 from the field.
High-low action in the lane. Shot won't go for Allen. Nice swivel move under the basket, but she could not get it to drop. The other way. Beers up top. Tot around the horn. Jones for 3. Nope. Whistle and a rebounding foul. And this goes against the Sooners, and that will go against Sahara Williams on the push-off. 5th personal foul, so Williams fouls out with 2:57 to go. It's not like they don't have 100 other players to come in and fill her spot.
That's a good problem to have, right? A deep bench, players that stay ready when their number's called.
Behind the arc, we're going to get 3 free throws coming up for DePaul. Grace Carstensen will go to the free throw line as she was fouled outside. Kaya Smith will be charged with the personal. You just come into the game and coaches don't like that too much.
Yeah, sending the team to the other line for 3.
Yep. Carstensen, the 5'11 sophomore. Smooth at the line. Well, the Sooners, newsflash, might not hit that margin of victory of 30 points today. DePaul's very pesky, if you will.
Yeah, they definitely, they have a high motor. This is a good, scrappy team. No quit. Play till the final buzzer.
Double dribble.
Sooners.
Landry Allen into the action for Oklahoma.
Sooners now 6 turnovers in the last 3 minutes and 41 second stretch.
You got a feeling, right, that Jenny Baranchek will not be very pleased again with the way this team's closing it out today. Penetration, O'Harry. Harry stops, now just throws it up off glass for 2.
What a bucket. Off balance over the defender. Gets it kissed off the glass.
Allen turnaround in the lane. Landry Allen, the 6'3 sophomore. 85-61. 24-point advantage. Side, Natia Nelson. Nelson, dribble penetration on the drive. The kick out. She's pushed in the lane by Smith, by Kaya Smith, the 6'1 freshman. Second personal foul. And team foul number 5. So that means free throws here. We have men's hoops coming up later from this arena. Stay with us all day. And that free throw by Nelson. No bueno. She bricks the second one, and that follow-up bucket for 2. There's a lot of chatter going on the court right now. Let's see what they're doing here. Officials to sort this out. Oklahoma basketball. They took a point down. There wasn't a point up there, no?
Yeah, there.
Okay, they took it down. Back the other way. Raina Scott had it. Jump shot Jones, no. Rebounding foul underneath the basket. Sooners back to the free throw line. This is a team, Oklahoma, that came into the game today second in the nation in field goal percentage. Defense.
Yes, they have held their opponents to 28% from the field in their first 5 games. Here today, DePaul shooting 29%.
Amazing. Deep 3 on the way, no good for Karstensen of DePaul. And off the scramble. I have to wonder, I'm not quite sure. I know that Doug Bruno has health issues there if he comes back. 18 NCAA tournament appearances, 774 victories. Played under legendary coach there at DePaul when their men's team was really good a while ago, and that was under Ray Meyer. A minute 11 remaining here. Steal. 2-on-1 break. Jones underneath. She got fouled and no whistle.
That's a tough one not to call.
Right. Ellery Minch there with a hammer job. Jones wants to shoot. Nope. She resets underneath. It went to
the refs are just letting them play. They're like, they want to pack it up.
So Culleton wanting those paint touches there. Let's see. No, monster screen, though, for Jones. That's how they get it in bounds. Under a minute to play here. Sooners are going to advance. Smith. Nice little runner, no. Rebound to DePaul. And nice drive and no finish. Whistle on that drive. And we'll get free throws coming up.
Yeah, and going back to your point about Doug Bruno, just an all-time great. Inducted into the Hall of Fame.
So Klatt will go to the free throw line. Yeah, so one of the all-time greats in coaching. And so Jill Pizzotti, interim now coach, and having to make something out of a very young team. But I like their compete level. They definitely played very hard here this afternoon. Just undermanned, if you will.
Yeah, and like you said, a lot of new pieces. Jill's still trying to figure out this team, what lineups play well together. That's what happens in these early season games.
Under 20 seconds to go. Blue Demons will fall to 2-4, 6-0 for this women's team from Norman. Three-pointer off, nice offensive board. Whistle on Culleton in the lane, and she'll be charged with the personal on Haley Walker. So, the championship game here in the Bulldogs Classic coming up on Wednesday could be a classic. Duke today, a team that was the Blue Devils, victorious 73-62 over Kansas State against Oklahoma. 2 ranked teams once again, and a lot of fireworks, I think, in that contest.
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting one. Both matchups, looking forward to both.
The consolation game, and that'll do it there. consolation game then will be featuring DePaul against Kansas State. So that'll be coming your way on Wednesday. Ladies will have a day off, if you will, here to hopefully enjoy some sights in Vegas. And
some turkey.
And some turkey later in the week. But
oh, yeah,
it's never too soon for turkey, though. Press room at the Raider game yesterday.
Oh, did they? How was it?
Turkey,
was it dry?
A little stuffing. It was good.
Oh, it was good. Okay.
Yeah.
They did.
I'm not going to lie. It was on a scale of 10, about an 8. So
oh, okay.
We appreciate everyone tuning in here this afternoon. Again, the doubleheader coming your way on Wednesday will feature Oklahoma against Duke, Kansas State against DePaul. Any parting notes on today in general? Blowout win for Oklahoma. Now they'll play a team that is really tough defensively on Wednesday. That Duke team. I mean, Oklahoma's great in transition. I think one of the strengths of Duke is guarding the transition game.
Yeah, I think they match up great in that aspect, right? Like you mentioned, Oklahoma can score. They love to run. They like to score quick. But on the reverse side, Duke and their defensive prowess and the way that they can defend, especially in transition, I think they match up excellently together. And that's going to be a huge matchup. And, you know, that might be the biggest test that Oklahoma has faced all season long.
3 players in double figures. Oklahoma, Peyton Verhulst with 18, 17 for Reagan Beers, and 14 for Liz Scott. We're hoping that Lexi Keys is okay. She was shaken up with an apparent ankle injury, and hopefully she'll be fine to come back on Wednesday. For DePaul, 15 apiece for Meg Newman and Jory Allen, and 12 for Charlize O'Hara. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in wherever you might be here on FloHoops. Again, for our executive producer, John Albaugh, for Josh Bennett, producing courtside, for Kevin E. Martin, our analyst on today's games, the doubleheader. We appreciate everyone tuning in. I'm Tony Cardasco, and once again, the final score, it was Oklahoma 85 and DePaul 62. We'll see you for the men's games coming up shortly right here on FloHoops.
Calling more games. 2 more.